And I think the most important thing is that I've seen that the president is now saying that he's going to protect the water tower and that people should be employed. The incoming minister is also saying the same. I know the Mau, part of the Maasai Mau forest has been fenced, but the fence has since most of it, or some parts of the fence have been vandalized. But I'm happy that the forest people or the forest rangers have been able to repel these people who are trying to get in by force after the elections. And I just hope that the current president will keep his word and ensure that the Maasai Mau and other forests are fenced to save this country from these vagaries of nature. We are seeing the kind of drought that is dominating our livestock, killing people, and just because of destruction of the Maasai Mau and other forests, especially within the Mau complex. It should also be noted that the Great Maasai Mara, which is actually the eighth wonder of the world, gets waters from the Maasai Mau. And it should be noted that a lot of wildlife suffered and died from exposure at that time when the forest was disseminated, or at that time when there was settlement in the forest. I know very well there was a time animals like hippos were actually suffering from skin cancer. Many of them died. Same with the other aquatic animals. And I think the most important thing now is to ensure that there is no disruption of the flow of the Maasai Mara. It will also be noted that the waters of the Lake Victoria that actually create the River Nile actually also depend on the Maasai Mau complex and the other forests within the Mau forest complex. And I think it's important that they are preserved for posterity and to ensure not only do we benefit from tourism, but also from agriculture, and also to ensure that other countries benefit from the Mau and other forests that are actually of great importance to the world. And for example, Lake Natron is where the flamingos actually procreate and all that. And I think it's important. It's important that the Maasai Mau and other parts of the Mau complex are preserved. So I think that's the most important thing. But I'm very proud that at the end of the day, the court was able to save the Mau. The High Court was able to save the Mau. And I think everybody should support the decision of the court and not try to trash it or to appeal the decision, because that will be, I think it will be, you see the kind of drought we are facing. It's like we are a desert country. And that's just because of the destruction of the forest, of the forest cover. And I think there was a time a member of parliament actually said that water or rain does not emanate from trees. And I think that was the most backward and unreasonable. It was a very unreasonable argument that is so pedestrian and basic. And I think people are now learning that without the tree cover, there is no rain. That's a scientifically proven fact. So I think with the conservation of the Mau. In fact, I remember when we went to plant trees and the Maasai Mau was covered by Minister Tobiko. The same day we had rainfall. And from that time on, the Mara River has been, has had enough waters. And no animals have perished since then. Even now, as we are talking, many animals are dying elsewhere, but in the Maasai Mara, we still have them, surviving, mostly because of the Mara River. That is our lifeline. That has actually ensured that they survive during this very harsh time. And in fact, even at the Mara, there is some rainfall now. Places like Kericho, places like Ilgori, Sotik, and elsewhere, places like Bomet, Kisi, and all those areas are getting normal rainfall just because of the fact that the Maasai Mau was reclaimed and trees planted. by the government. And I think that was something that was that saved us from a lot of laws and what have you. I remember during those days when the people were actually staying in the Mau, even tea farms were suffering. Dairy farmers were suffering and all that, but things have come back to normal. And I'm sure once the trees that were planted grow, once we add more trees, this climate change will actually not affect us as it is doing now. So I think I'm one of those people who actually insist that forests, wherever they are, should not be given out to anybody. If anything, where possible, the government can even purchase more suitable areas for growing trees. And I'm sure people can even give out their land for tree planting as long as they gain and sustain their livelihoods. So I think those are things that should be done. I think there was that encouragement that if you grow trees, a certain number of trees, you'll get a certificate. I think that's a very good incentive, and it will encourage a lot of people to do that. In fact, I went to Central Province the other day, and I was surprised that places in Murang'a, between Sabasaba, that road, you'll find that it's a forest. Yet some years back, it was actually, you just see bare hills. But now, you cannot even see homesteads in Murang'a. It's now a forest, and even Kiambu. And that's what I would like to encourage our people to do. Even better climate, climatic conditions like Mau, parts of Mau, not the forest, and Mau areas, Lolonga and others, we can grow forests, trees, and that's what we are encouraging our people to do. And I hope the government, Narok will do something about it. That's what I think should be done. That has encouraged our people to grow. Out to also compliment and to thank the President for giving us the new Minister for Forestry, Natural Resources, and I know that she was actually our immediate women representative or women representative in Parliament. I know she's capable. She's a colleague of mine. She's a lawyer, and I think she's also somebody who is reliable and who can be relied on to save the Mau and other forests. And I'm happy that he actually said that the Shamba system does not apply to indigenous forests, and I agree with her fully. And I would also like to comment the immediate about turn or backtracking of the Deputy President on such a destructive introduction of the forest or the Shamba system in the forest, and I think that's something that should not be encouraged at all. I'm also happy that the President is saying that there will be the government will endeavor to grow 5 million trees in the next 5 years. I hope that he keeps his word, because that is something that each Kenyan should pick up and do. That is a very, very crucial thing. I'd also like to commend the court for actually saying that for the time being, the Kenya Forest Service take care of the Maasai Mau. I know that's trust land, but it should also be noted that the people who are in charge of Narok now are the ones who actually sold the land. The Mau Forest. I think that was a very wise decision of the court, and I believe sometime in the future, when the Narok County government was constituted in a way that will actually ensure that the forest is protected, then we shall insist that the forest goes back to the county government, because that's why it should rightly be. But for now, considering the constitution of the county government, I think it will be unsafe to let the county run the forest or take care of the forest, because those are the same families that are now in charge, and they're the ones who actually took part and sold them out. They're the same ones who actually took part of the Maasai Mau, or remember other places, a place called Makari and Osoro and many others. So I think it's important that the Kenya Forest Service for the time being takes care of the forest, but should be noted, it should be known by all Kenyans that is trust land that belongs to the community of Narok, and that It cannot just be taken like that. So we wouldn't want another entity also to think that he can actually dispose of the forest in any way that he wants. It is not possible. But I think I agree with the court that let the Kenya Forest Service for the time being protect the forest. That's the Maasai Mau forest. If I were their lawyer, I will advise them that the best people to pursue are the people who sold them land, knowing very well that they did not own the land, that they did not have title to the land, and that they did not have any valid ownership to the land. And I think the worst thing that can happen in this country is to let criminals like those ones go scot-free. They should not be let to go scot-free. They should actually reimburse or return the monies that they received to those people who are evicted. And I think should not just be the money that was paid them. The element of interest for those years must also be taken into account.
Olakira TV Ewangan